Hey guys, this is Big Dave. It is December 30th, 2018. I think it's been about 2 weeks since my last video. It's kind of funny, between work and home and holidays, it's been very busy. I'm in the basement because I've tried to make this video 2 times now, and in like my dining room, and one interruption after the other. So I told people, don't come down here for 20 minutes. I'm busy. Anyhow, so to recap, I had gastric bypass on December 3rd, 2018. It's 27 days post-op today. And when I started the 5-day pre-op diet, I was at 291 pounds, sorry. And yesterday when I weighed myself, I was at 247 and change. So I've lost about 43.5 pounds. Obviously, that's nothing to sneeze at. I think even my doctor, who I saw a few days ago, and the nutritionist and the nurse were all, happy for me. Like, that's a good outcome. That's the kind of outcome that helps you achieve, those targets that you have for yourself 6 months, 9 months, a year down the road. I have no complaints about that. It has all been great. So since my last appointment, right? Since my last video, I made that last video after my first post-op appointment. And at that appointment, they told me I could move on to stage 2 for my diet. Start easy, soft things, eggs, ricotta cheese, beans, and so forth. And that's what I ate for like the first week and a half. After that appointment, and things were going good. Tofu, I wasn't really feeling too deprived, but I'll say holiday season, I think, and it's true for everyone, there's a lot of temptation around you. I wasn't so tempted by like things that would come into the office like chocolates or pastries, but when we go visit people and they were doing sort of a festive meal, and I would bring like a protein shake with me just to have something to kind of distract me. I found actually what was more tempting for me were like the snacks that you'd see around the house, things that I would dive into before, like, someone's snack pantry. It's kind of out there. People I know well and whom kind of like family, you're comfortable enough if you were visiting to just eat stuff they have lying around. Those things were a little bit of a mental sort of, if it's a challenge, it's a minor one, but they were they tickled your mind a little bit, like, oh, that would probably be good after a few weeks of liquid mostly. But I made it through that, and then this past week, Christmas Eve, here at my house, we hosted a dinner for my brother's in-laws who were visiting from Singapore. And so not only did they come, about 6, 7 of them who were here from Singapore, but visiting my family was my other brother, his wife, his kids. So we had a full house. And, there's a lot of pastries and things like that. And then 2 days later, we had a Christmas meal for my primary, family and all of my brothers, my nieces and nephews, my mother. And there was a lot of food and a lot of desserts and stuff. And so I'm telling this whole backstory because I think it was in the last few days that I made a couple of dietary mistakes, which really caused me some problem, namely constipation, like severe, painful constipation. So, and I could be wrong about the cause of it because I understand that the iron pills, which I'm now taking, can cause constipation. I'm not really getting a lot of fiber. So that's also a problem. But I think I had constipation and something else. And so at the Christmas meal, one of the dishes that was made was this fish stew, which, my family enjoys a lot. And it's made with cod, and that's one of the fish that I was given permission to try. And I thought, well, it's almost been 2 weeks since I've been on stage 2. I think I can try this. but it wasn't exactly like a steamed sort of plain codfish. It was savory. It had been in a broth, a stew. So I tried that one day, and then a couple days later, my mom made a homemade chicken soup, and I mostly avoided all the fillings, but I did try the chicken because that was also permitted. Anyhow, the next day I went to my doctor, and one of the first things they asked you, how are you doing? Everything sitting okay? Are you feeling constipated? I said no, but I hadn't given it much thought, and it had been a few days since I had gone to the bathroom that way. So starting that evening, this was on a Thursday, I started feeling pretty uncomfortable, started getting these cramping sensations. I mean, it was actually debilitating enough that I like went to bed early and was just not comfortable. Next day, I kind of trooped it. We had a few things to do during the day, but by that afternoon, I was in severe distress. And I realized at that point that it had been 4 or 5 days at a minimum that I had had a bowel movement. So I was pretty sure I was constipated. I mean, there was also this slight fear in my mind. Could it be something worse? Could it be like a, intestinal blockage, which I would have required some medical intervention? So I pretty much suffered Friday pretty badly. And later that evening, I took some X-Lax and a stool softener thinking maybe this will help me. I go to sleep that night. I'm literally, hurting. And I even got nauseous and went to the bathroom to throw up twice, but nothing would come out. I was dry heaving. It was pretty painful and pretty uncomfortable. So Saturday morning, only 3 days after I saw my doctor, I called him and he called me back. And I told him what I thought it was, and he said, well, it's better to treat from the bottom than the top, so go buy an enema kit from like the pharmacy and do it. So we got it, but literally at the moment where I was going to do it, like I was going to the bathroom, my stomach was feeling kind of grumbly, and I was like, maybe this, and I was able to go for the first time in like 5 or 6 days. And I didn't feel great immediately thereafter, but by that evening, which is Saturday now, right? Saturday morning is when I finally went to the bathroom. Saturday evening, my symptoms were so much better. I wasn't cramping that way. And basically it passed. And so today is Sunday, and I'm basically symptom free, and I was able to eat today. I basically had stopped eating the 2 days I was in severe pain, and literally like maybe one protein shake and a little water. So I was probably dehydrated. There's a lot of reasons you can get constipated after surgery like this. You're not having a lot of fiber, you're taking iron supplements, you're dehydrated. But it was not pleasant, and it's something I'm really focused on not repeating anytime soon. So that was the biggest mishap I've had. I mean, I mentioned in my last video that I think I had an episode of dumping syndrome, and that was not comfortable or fun, but it went away after like 30 minutes. This constipation bout, and plus possible, I think to the foods I ate that were kind of not as prescribed, like this overly seasoned fish and chicken, not the best. So now that I'm back sort of at square, like feeling good, today I ate things that were, the way they should be. Like I had a scrambled egg for breakfast. I had a shake. For lunch, I had a single pack serving of hummus. I'm going to have another shake soon. And tonight I might have a Jell-O. It's almost like I'm in stage 2 still, even though I've been given permission to go to stage 3. There's a bit of trepidation on my part about trying things. I felt it that way too, except for these big holiday meals where maybe I got carried away and tried something that was not really bariatric friendly, but even though it was categorically okay, the way it was prepared was not perfect. There's a little trepidation about adding foods and what's going to happen. So we'll see. But avoiding sweets and cookies and pastries and things of that nature has not been hard. I've also been cleared to start working out. Now today's Sunday. I'm out of work for Monday and Tuesday we're closed. Wednesday we reopen. I've already signed up at the gym in my office building. And you know, the nurse in my doctor's practice, the nurse is the most conservative. So I take what she says with a grain of salt. I mean, I trust her, but I think she prescribes the most sort of conservative thing. And she said, hey, just start walking for a while. Don't do a spin class. And those things make sense. I just think, you know, I've been walking. I commute to work. I walk, whatever. But I'm going to do that. You know, first couple weeks, I'll take it really easy, just like a brisk walk on the treadmill. Maybe do like a couple sets of push-ups, just, you know, start doing that part of it too, which I think is going to be really important as I've lost these 40 pounds already. You know, I had all this size on me. I've always been sort of, you know, someone who lifted and everything, and I've never been in great shape, obviously, and I've never been like it doesn't show so much, but my strength was decent. But I've always had the size, so I think I need to keep on doing that strength training. I think, you know, that's most of what I wanted to share. That constipation episode was crazy, man, not fun, and very uncomfortable. And I'm leery about it. I sent a message tonight on my doctor has an app where you can communicate with physicians and staff who are part of this network. And I asked him whether or not I should be taking a stool softener on a regular basis and whether I should take like a Metamucil type of fiber on a regular basis also, you know, in light of the constipation episode that I had. Yeah, overall really good. You know, clothing at 40 pounds lost. I'm still wearing things that I wore before, and it just makes me think, man, I was really must have been stretching out these garments to within an inch of their life, because now they're definitely loose and they look a little baggy, but I'm still wearing them and they're 40 pounds less of me, right? So this is the shirt I'm wearing, for example, is a 2X shirt. I can now like close the neck, which I couldn't do for the last year, and it's roomy. You can't see it because I'm sitting down, but it's not horrible. I mean, I'm not a big fan of wearing things that are super loose and baggy and ill-fitting. I've saved, you know, as I was prepping for the surgery. In my closet, I have clothes that take me down to like, you know, 2 sizes smaller. And I saved a few pieces in each of those sizes so that when I was ready to make the switch, I'd at least have a couple things, and I wouldn't, you know, to tide me over until I bought a few things more. For Christmas, I did get a couple things. Like my wife bought me a couple sweaters, these sort of like nice sweatpants that I like, and they're all in a size smaller. And in fact, they're slightly small on me, tight on me right now, but I can fit them on, and I think over the next month they probably will fit perfectly, and then, you know, they'll tide me over. It's a nice bridge till I buy a smaller set of clothes. I'm okay shopping at like Old Navy and Uniqlo and places like that, but for stuff that is not size, depending like my hats and different things like that, and I got, you know, for Christmas I requested like a nice hat, winter hat, nice pair of leather gloves. I'm trying to rebuild my wardrobe with an eye on the future to like have nice pieces, because, you know, if you're big like I've been, you can't always find the 3X sizes, and so you're limited in where you can shop. And so I do look forward to rebuilding a wardrobe of nicer things. You know, this is New York City. I'm 47, mostly trying to look like a grown man these days, and so it's gonna be nice to have nice clothes. But anyhow, that's the update, and I will keep you guys posted. I don't have to see my doctor again for a full month, so I'm going to see them at the end of January. And, you know, I'm not expecting another 43 pounds in January to lose. But, you know, I would say I'd be pretty disappointed if I didn't keep up a healthy pace of losing. but if I hit one of those, you know, fame stalls, you know, I'm not gonna like trip over it. I mean, I know they happen, and that's how it goes. So thanks for watching, and you know, I know people say it all the time. If you have a question or something you want to chat about it, you know, send the question to me in the comments, and I'll, next time I post, I'll try and answer it to the best that I can. Thanks a lot, everybody. It's almost New Year's, so have a great New Year's, and I'll see you guys in 2019.